What's up everybody, Faber Class from MMA Talk here, and we are back to continue our Canadian MMA Awards for 2019. We've got two categories left, and today we are looking at the Rookie of the Year in Canada. So that means a fighter who have begun his pro career in 2019 on Canadian soil. And before we get going, I've got some honorable mentions, some people that were really good that I would have put in the list, but unfortunately they only had one pro fight this year, so they couldn't really compete with the volume of other fighters on the list. So my honorable mentions are Shane Monaghan, Brandon Lee, Maxime Bacon, Adam de Freitas, and Vincent Houle. Let's get going with the list. At number 10, I've got Terrence Spina. I've just said that it was tough to include people with only one pro fight on the list, but Terrence Spina has something that other people don't have. He's a heavyweight, and we need heavyweights in Canada. There's probably three things we need the most in Canada, and heavyweight is amongst them. He began his career at Rise FC 3 last April with a win over Dawson, who was undefeated with 2-0 and rapidly establishing himself as a good Canadian heavyweight in MMA. So Spina comes in, knocks him out in the first round, and there he is. He's a good Canadian heavyweight after only one pro fight, and he's the 10th best Rookie of the Year in Canada. At number 9, we've got Matt Dawson. Like I've been saying, we need three things in Canada. One of these things is heavyweights. The other thing is flyweights. We never have enough flyweights, and we've got a new bright flyweight prospect in Matt Dawson. He began his pro career quite late in the year in September, but he defeated Nathan Ledger and then defeated Dylan Lacroix on the two PFC cards. One was a TKO win in the second round, the other was a guillotine finish in the first round, one of the best finishes of the year. So that puts him in the list at number 9, bright flyweight prospect Matt Dawson. At number 8, we've got Dario Sinagoga. He's Irish, but he's fighting in Western Canada for BFL. Fought 2 times this year, won both times by decision, and already showed a real complete skill set that is real exciting for the future. That's why I had to put him on the list at number 8, Dario Sinagoga. At number 7, we've got another prospect from Western Canada, Kirk Tse. He made his debut in the beginning of the year at BFL 60 against Ali Wasuk, and what was probably one of the most anticipated pro debuts for two guys, and he won that fight by split decision. Then faced another top level prospect in Bilal Mubarak and won that fight too. It was 2 split decisions, but he did good. He's one of the better prospects that we've seen emerge from the West in recent year, and I had to put him at number 7 on my list. At number 6, Julius Trimmeliti, the prospect from Grants MMA, was really active this year, fought 3 times in the first 6 months, defeated Woodrow James by guillotine like 27 seconds, then came to TKO on short notice and defeated Simon Lagarde by Darce choke, one of the greater finishes of the year, and he really put his name on the map after that win because he immediately took a step up against Kyron Cameron, one of the best prospects in Canada. Unfortunately, he lost that fight by decision, but the things he showed in that fight and the fight before led us to believe that he's one of the biggest prospects in Canada, especially at 170 or even 185, because that division's not that deep. So I'll be looking forward to see what Trimmeliti has next. He's one of the best prospects in Canada, and I've got him at number 6. At number 5, I've been saying that we need 3 things in Canada. We need heavyweights, we need flyweights, and we need woman fighters, and that's why I've got Randi Field, who made her pro debut this year on the PFC 10 card. She fought Amanda Borg. She won by TKO in the first round. She came back on the PFC 12 card at the end of the years, and she defeated Melissa Karagiannis by decision. 2 fights against people that didn't have winning records, yes, but had way more pro experience than her, and Randi Field was not scared, fought like a beast. She's one of the best women's prospects that we've seen emerge in Canada this year, and I'm really excited to see what's next for her. That's why I've got it at number 5 on the list. At number 4, I've made an exception for this guy, Serge Dancos. He only had 1 pro fight, but man, if you've seen that fight, you know what he's about. This guy is for real. He was ready to jump pro, and and if he had more fights, nobody could make me believe that he would not have won them. Serge Dancos is one of the most complete prospects that have debuted this year, and it's really not his fault if he was only able to fight once. He was scheduled in 3 fights, one fell through, was replaced, the other one just didn't happen, unfortunately, with the bad year TKO had, so he wasn't able to fight more than once. But he was the guy that, coming from the amateur scene, we had the most hype about, and the hype was confirmed in his first pro fight. I'm really excited to see what this guy had to do, and that's why I've got it at number 4 on the list. Even though he's got less fights than everybody on the list, I feel like this is a real bright prospect and I'm real confident in him, so I've put it at number 4 on the list, Serge Dancos. At number 3, we've got Justin Condie, who debuted on the PFC cards, fought Justin Taverne, who already had a pro fight, defeated him in the 3rd round by rear naked choke, and then went on to beat Joe Petatagoose, who is like a real tough veteran. I think it was his 9th or 10th pro fight for Petatagoose, and he lost by decision in a great back and forth fight to Justin Condie, who is a real bright prospect with 2 wins this year at 155. We need people like him in Canada, and that's why I've put him at number 3 on the list. At number 2, Jasmine Jasudavicius. Sorry if I butcher your name, but damn it, what a good fighter. She began with 2 fights outside of Canada. She defeated Bridget Chase in her pro debut. That was a fight in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, after she fought Kylie O'Hearn for Cage Titans, a good promotion, before she made her Canadian debut for BTC in November, defeated Christina Riker for a 3-0 debut year. There are only 2 rookies who had the chance to fight 3 times and won their 3 pro fights in Canada this year, and Jasmine is one of them. That's why I am putting her at number 2 on the list. She is one to follow. She's probably gonna be a really good women's fighter for the years to come. And at number 1, quite easy pick this year, Teshay Gouthro. He fought 3 times. His pro debut was one of the most impressive performances of the year against Paul Fisher, then finished Asmat Sarwari in the 3rd round by TKO on the PFC card, and came back to beat Ariel Zuniga, another top prospect, in his BTC 8 fight. It was a real good showdown. He is like a real complete fighter. He's explosive, he's aggressive, he's powerful, he's got the baseline tools to be a successful fighter, and his level of technique is already quite high for a guy who just made his pro debut. He had that good of a year that I even had to put him in consideration for the fighter of the year list. Unfortunately, like, he missed the cut by 1 or 2 fighters. I think he was at number 17 on my list, and I only kept 15 people, but I have to give him his due. He is the rookie of the year, and he is the fighter that I'm probably the most excited to see what he's gonna be able to do in the future, because he was so good and so polished and so early in his career that he deserves it. That was a great year, and the next year are probably gonna be good for Teshay Gouthro too, because he's a real good prospect, and that's why I have him as MMA Talks Rookie of the Year in Canada for 2019. That's the list. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, dance, do anything you want. I will see you tomorrow for the Fighter of the Year list, our final list for the Canadian MMA Awards of 2019. As always, thank to my boy Charles White's Beats for the music. Follow him on YouTube and Instagram at Charles White's Beats, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.